Good morning. I'm Monisa Klein here at the GBTA broadcast studio. And with me here this morning is Don Moore, who is the Senior Vice President for Business Rental Sales and Global Corporate Accounts from Enterprise Holdings.
Thank you.
Welcome. Welcome being here.
It's great to be
Welcome,
here.
Don.
Thank you.
So great to see you.
Yes, see people live.
See people.
Not on Teams.
Yes, not on Teams. It's a nice break, right?
It's a great break. Great to be here.
So, as business travel begins to resume, what are some travel trends that Enterprise is seeing with your corporate clients?
Yeah, so for us, it's kind of a tale of two sides of our business for business rental. You have the airport travelers, we call them the road warriors, as you know. That business is still back at airports because of travel restrictions and so forth. However, our home city locations, we have about 10,000 locations around the world, and a lot of them are home city. Our home city locations are back to 2019 numbers.
Really?
A lot of that is smaller companies, construction, technology, folks that have to get out and about. And so that business has actually gone very well for us. You couple that with the fact that people are driving further instead of flying in some occasions. Our length of rental is higher, so our days are up. So that's how we were able to get back. And then when you take the pandemic as a whole, a lot of companies had to travel for pandemic reasons, either health or so forth and so on. So we were able to pick up a lot of business from companies that are involved in solving the pandemic and the health crisis that we have. So the home city's been great. We're back to 2019 numbers, but airports are still back about 15-20%. We think that come January, when more things start to open up, you hear a lot of that on the floor today.
Right.
A lot of that business is starting to open. We can see us getting back to the airport business as well, so that'd be great.
That's all good news.
Great
Music
news.
to our ears,
Great
right?
news. Yes.
Right? So the next era of shared mobility and sustainable transportation solutions is around the corner. What can we expect to see from Enterprise in this space?
Yeah, so I know there's a lot of buzzwords about EVs right now, and so for us, it's EVs and connected cars. I'll talk about both of those if that's all right. So from the EV front, we currently have several thousand EVs in our fleet today, but we've taken a very conservative approach for a couple of reasons. One, we are in consultancy with the federal governments and state governments to talk to them about where they're going with the state of EVs and power stations and anything to do with the infrastructure around that. Because you can buy as many as you want as far as EVs go, but if you can't charge them at certain times, and our business is about turning over vehicles from rental, and to charging stations are an issue. Having enough power at those different locations is an issue for the state and local governments. So we're working very closely with them, both here in North America and in Europe. Europe is probably a little further along from a government standpoint. So that is trending the right way. But when we bought EVs, we have about 300 employees at our corporate headquarters in St. Louis, officers, that are all driving EVs right now. If you go into our parking lot in the morning, you got to be there early so you can plug in and charge. But all of our officers are driving EVs right now because there's a lot of anxiety to driving electric vehicles. And when I received one about 3 months ago, I only travel a few miles to get to work every day, but I found myself pretty much charging every night because I was afraid for some reason or another based on the anxiety side of that. So, those are the things that we have to understand what the customer is going to feel. A customer is just going to and from one place to another, that's fine. But a proper business trip where they have to travel for a period of time, and you have to find stations, you have to prepare, you have to do all those different things, and then you hope they're open, you hope they're not occupied, you hope they're working.
Right.
So from an EV standpoint, we feel very comfortable where we are with our space. We have a lot of different folks that are helping us understand the EV market. We buy more cars than any other rental car company in the world. We're the largest car rental company by in any measurable side in the world. So we have a responsibility, but we also have the ability to do what's right for the customer. And we will make sure we have a plan in place before we launch a proper EV strategy.
Yeah.
Then from a connected car side, we're working very closely with Microsoft on the data of a connected car. We have 350,000 connected cars in our fleet of 1.3 million today. We're looking at the data. We believe that data will be our friend for a long time. It will help us understand the car, the driver habits, the drivers, and so forth. So we'll be able to understand when a customer's coming back if the car needs to go directly into the shop. We'll understand if what needs that car has. We'll understand the fuel levels. We'll understand the mileage levels. And so that way it'll become more frictionless for the customer. And for us during the pandemic, we really took a step back and said, what are the customer's needs going to be after the pandemic or whenever, right? In the future. And really from that standpoint, that was the piece that we really focused on, was the customer. Anything to do with friction. We want to take as much friction out of the process. Our Emerald Club, that is our national brand at airports, has an aisle that you can go to and bypass the counter and not have any conversations with employees if you don't want to. We're bringing that same type of technology and same type of thought process to our enterprise locations that are in a home city. If you don't want to talk to anyone, you don't have to. There'll be kiosks, there'll be those kinds of things that are coming in the future that we're looking at. So all those things kind of make up what we're doing from that side of the house, and we're really excited because we're private, as a privately held company. We do things, our family is very conservative that owns enterprise in regards to what we bring to the market. We want to make sure it's customer facing first and make sure that the employees and customers are both happy with the product. So
that's great.
It's exciting stuff for us coming forward.
It sounds like you guys are being very thoughtful in how you approach the market.
Yes.
And I love all the focus on the sustainability aspect because that was a reoccurring theme all throughout yesterday and this morning. So clearly top of mind for everybody, right? It's really important in our industry and in the world.
Absolutely.
So it's
we
really
have to
good.
do the right thing.
So as we look ahead, what changes do you think that are here to stay in terms of customer expectations?
Right. So, Teams and Zoom and all the rest of them have really, us and everyone else is now an expert in using those products. But people, as you see here today, people like talking to people. Yeah. So we believe travel will resume in a way, 2019 numbers. However, it will be different. As I said earlier, the frictionless piece, people will want to have, they want to feel comfortable. Our complete clean pledge, they want to make sure that they feel comfortable getting in one of our vehicles. They'll drive more miles than they ever have in the past because I think customers will choose to drive versus fly in some occasions if the trip is reasonable. They won't go with colleagues like they used to. They used to all jump in a car and go on a business trip. During the pandemic, we have seen a lot of the 4-person passenger trip is now a 1-passenger trip, and you got 4 different cars. So there's different things like that we have to get used to and we have to work on. The average length of rental, as I said earlier, is getting larger, so we have to make sure that we are prepared, both from technology and from customer service overall. We got to make sure we have enough cars, all those things that are going on. I mean, there's clearly a car shortage issue in the marketplace, not just for car rental, but for everyone in the world. The chip issue is not gone yet, but it is getting better.
Good.
We see us, 2019 numbers in 2021 into 2022. We'll buy another 300,000 vehicles or so towards the end of our fiscal year. So we're really excited about where we're going as far as that piece goes. But their habits will definitely become more focused on clean car, obviously, but anything frictionless is where technology will drive it.
That's great. Well, Don, it sounds like you've got a great handle on the business. Congratulations on your 30 years with Enterprise.
Yes,
that is
thank you very
wonderful.
Much. Yes.
And best of luck here at the convention.
Well, I really appreciate it. Thank you very much, and thanks to GBTA for having such a great show. I know it was a challenge. I work on the advisory board, so I know it was a challenge getting to where we are today, but we're really happy to be here and support the convention. So thank you.
Don, great to have you with us. Thank you so much. We're live here at GBTA Broadcast Studio. Stay tuned for more.